So thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah.
As people are going to find out, you really are an incredible public speaker and your speeches are very compelling. So what I wanted to know is whether public speaking is a skill that you perhaps learned and built on over the years, or whether you're driven by the passion that you have for your topics.
Well, I'm really not, I can't believe that I do any sort of public speaking. My mom always thought someone must have swapped her son out, because I was incredibly shy as a child. I didn't speak for the first few years of school. I spent that time with the principal instead of going to classes because I'd have panic attacks. He's probably upset at me right now because I'm being a bit quiet, but when I get up on stage and there's something that I'm passionate about, something takes over. And you know, I think if ever I run out of things that feel necessary to say, I'll probably climb right back into my shell like some hermit crab and live very comfortably there. But for right now, I do feel like there's a lot that needs to be said. Today we're doing like a discussion, so I'm sort of off the hook. I won't have a big speech.
Less pressure.
Yeah, but you know, every now and then Tom says I give my husband Tom says I give very, very long answers, so it might start feeling like a speech even if it's not. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. But moving on from public speaking to filmmaking, I've read about the way in which you write and nuance your ideas for film. So you get out flashcards and you write out scenes, move different flashcards to the top of piles.
You watched that video, didn't you?
I did. It's really
nuts.
interesting.
It's a little nuts, isn't it?
It's really good. It's nuts, but
I'm a little crazy.
I love it.
I think you should be scared right now.
Well, so I was wondering, how do you discipline yourself to tell yourself that you've narrowed down the cards to the best scenes and will have the best scenes in your work? Because obviously, otherwise you could go on forever, have thousands of cards,
I
and
know,
on the table.
Do you ever do that when you're writing? Like,
and you stays here.
And you fall in love, like you work really, really hard on like a paragraph or on an idea, right, when you're writing?
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is, if you just start writing, I do the same thing. Like I start to fall in love with the stuff that I've worked on because they're like your little children and you care for them and you've crafted them and you've recrafted them. Well, if they aren't actually helping the larger picture of your piece, right, whether it's a paper or a play or in my case a screenplay, then you have to kill them. And it feels like you're killing your child. You're killing all that work, all that time, all that care, and it really was a brilliant paragraph. It was a beautiful paragraph. It just didn't serve the wider piece, and you have to kill it. So why go through that hell? And the only way to avoid that hell is to do an outline on note cards first. So that first you're just kind of talking about what is the idea? How does the idea serve the larger piece? And you can do that for a paper or dissertation, a play or a book or whatever it is. You can break it down so that you know what each section is, what act or what scene or paragraph is supposed to serve, so that you don't start writing these beautiful little children that you then have to murder. It's horrible. And in the end, you still will have to kill a few of your precious children, because you want to say what you want to say with as much clarity as possible, with as few words as possible, and that means
saying goodbye to the children.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a tough job. So the outlining really is just a way to save our precious children.
I like that.
Yeah.
And also, possibly one of the highlights of your career was winning an Oscar for Milk back in 2009, which of course tells the story of Harvey Milk, the first openly gay elected official in the history of California, if I'm right. You said he's someone who inspired you greatly on a personal level. So did you feel a great amount of pressure in portraying his story in the right way and doing it justice? And also, how does it feel to win such a prestigious award?
It was a lot of pressure, and there were other people who've been trying to do it for a long time, and there was the pressure of getting it right because I cared about the story. There was the pressure of getting it right because there were some competing projects who were probably not rooting for me, and then I also thought it was coming at an incredibly necessary time. It was coming at a time when I felt like we had lost some of the strategy around how people of difference, how minorities win. And frankly, I think we're back in that time again right now. So we were in that time back in like 2006 to 2008 when I was really crafting Milk. And we saw how minorities and people of difference had stopped collaborating, stopped working together. And it's not that it was out of animus. It's not like we hated some other group of people who are different in some other way. We just forgot that the only way we can win is if we collaborate, if we build a bridge, if we build a coalition. And, you know, we've been doing, I think, very well in the world since maybe 2008, 2009. We've been seeing this great pendulum shift where there's more acceptance, more understanding of difference. I think the internet has helped us understand our differences, find our brothers and sisters and other people who are different in a similar fashion. And I think that examination is great. It's beautiful. It's necessary. I think those differences, when we look into them, are what make us special and valuable. But guess what? It's not the end of the job. And it's certainly not the point of civil rights to subdivide. Find your very unique difference. But you don't want a prize for telling everyone that you have it worse than them for being different. And you might, but that's not the point. The point is then to take your difference and to build a bridge to someone else who's different in another way. Create those coalitions. Create the fabric of a family that celebrates difference. And then you are powerful. Then you're strong. You're not divided. You can actually win at the ballot box. Because if what we continue to do is examine our differences and stop right there and not create coalitions on the other side, what we create are Donald Trumps. Divided, we can be conquered. And that's what's happened again. And so I feel like bringing it full circle, when I was doing Milk, it was really necessary to tell that story of how he built coalitions to be elected. And he built coalitions out of union workers who were just trying to pay for their kids' education, out of racial minorities who weren't having their votes counted, seniors who couldn't afford to live in the city, and gay people. And he got them all to work together and to work for each other, and finally won an election for an LGBT person, the first openly gay man elected in the United States. And I think we're in that time again where we need to start to reach out as minorities to other minority groups, other people who are being treated differently under the law for their difference, and to fight back together. Because if we don't, we're in real trouble, I think.
So it's definitely time for us all to come together.
Yeah, we need another Milk. I mean, we need more people out there writing more stories that help say loud and clear, let's work together. We got to lock arms. And so, you know, maybe I have a couple up my sleeve, but we need more people out there doing it, which is why I come here instead of working on my screenplays. I come to places like this, and I do try to get students to engage and to start to find their difference, explore what value that gives them, but also to build a bridge.
Definitely. Well, we look forward to seeing talk, and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.